Hey guys, Chris Twyman here from Drubbit TV. Welcome back to another episode of Leeds Talk. I know a few of you might be wondering where the hell did this Drubbit guy go, because he hasn't uploaded a video in the last couple of months. And that is true, it's just one of those times in life where everything just stops. And look, it's pretty shitty to be honest, but look, we're over it now and I'm back. And I'm actually here in Bali, Indonesia. That's why you can see all these sort of lovely green trees and swimming pools going on. And I know it's probably not like that in the UK at the moment. And look, I'm one of these people that travels quite a lot and I spread the good name of Leeds United far and wide. And when we get back to the Premier League, I'll certainly be continuing doing that, and hopefully a lot more people over here will be aware of Leeds, especially the younger people. All the older people know Leeds, but the youngers aren't so familiar because we're just not on TV over here, which is a shame. But obviously I spread it far and wide. Look, we're falling apart at the seams at the moment, aren't we? So what's going on? We've lost, last 3 games in a row. We've lost sort of 5 or 6 in the last 7, and we're just slipping down the table. We're marching on to mid-table obscurity again, and that is not acceptable, is it? So look, but don't worry, because things will turn around, and look, we're going to talk about it. We're going to just see what's going on here, try and pick it apart a little bit. And I'm going to take you down the beach, and we're going to talk about it down there, and I'll try and relax you with the scenery as well. So let's go down there and talk about it. I'll see you there. Yeah, we'll be riding a motorbike here in Bali. Sunset time, lots of people, we've got loads of surfers out there. I don't know if you can see them. There's probably about at least 200, 300 surfers out there, and loads of Indonesians just enjoying a bit of beach time with their families and the sunset. Not bad. Not bad time to forget about all the woes and worries of Leeds United. And we're back in the room. So what the hell's going on? We've lost 6 games in the last 7. That's not including Leicester City as well. We're losing a lot of games, and this isn't good because we've slipped from 1st position all the way down to 10th. And right now, I think the alarm bells need to be ringing because we're not in the playoff positions anymore, and we've been there all season. So what the hell is going on? Why is this happening? There's a lot of players that came in the summer, and they are good. They are talented players, but clearly there was a honeymoon period for the first, so many games of the season. They obviously were playing well and stuff, but when the cold weather started to hit, and the toughness of the championship has started to come out to these players, they literally have started to flop. Their performances have dipped, and the whole team has suffered as a part of that. And I think this is one of the risks you take when you buy a lot of foreign players that have never played in England before. One example of that is obviously Lasogga, who I said in previous videos that I wasn't too impressed with his performance, but he's had peaks and troughs. He was really, really good actually in a couple of the games. And obviously he's got a lot of talent, but it's clear that he's been very inconsistent and he hasn't been setting the stage on fire like he should be. Says, on the other hand, I think has been really good overall. I would say he's definitely the best player we've got. And I think, he was the most expensive, so that makes sense. And that, Victor Orta, he brought all of these players in, along with, Thomas Christensen and stuff. But he had a big hand in bringing all these players in. So he's been scouting them, or he's been involved in that. So he got those 2, and I think they were good signings for sure, even though Alioski's been a bit like that. Klitsch, though, where's he been? Matthews Klitsch. I went over his stats when we first signed him, and he looked pretty good, I thought. He had a lot of potential with passing, and I think we've been a bit weak in the midfield, and that's probably why we're losing games. Sibici, whatever his name is, where's he been? He's been missing. Grot, massive guy, well tall, but obviously a bit of a mouse on the ball. He hasn't been getting a look in. Lasogga, right? Pierre Lasogga epitomises the whole situation. He's on about 60 grand a week, 60,000 sterling pounds a week. He comes from Hamburg, Bundesliga, right? in his eyes, he's stepped down to come to Leeds, which obviously we don't agree with that. We think that we're the best and all that, but that's fine. He's stepped down to the Championship in his eyes because he's not getting a look in over there or whatever, but he's still getting a lot of money. He's still getting probably 3 times more than anyone else in the Leeds squad. I think that, yeah, he came in, he done all right, didn't he? He scored a couple of goals. He got himself the Player of the Month award, or whatever it was, the first month. And I knew that point we started to lose games. We were losing games at that point when he won that award. And I remember watching him and he just looked so cheesy, you know, like so like full of himself. Yeah, I won this award. I've just come over, you know, first month, picked up the awards. Fuck this lot. You know, I'm better than everyone. That was the impression he gave me. And it was from then we started to lose a fuckload of games. I haven't been at Ellen Rose. Obviously, I'm over here in Asia and stuff. But everyone that I speak to that has been to the games and from what I've seen as well, they've all said that he's extremely lazy and he doesn't seem to do fuck all when he's got the ball. I think that, you know, yeah, he can score and he can have these moments of brilliance, but he's not really performing how he should be. I think he feels that he's too good for the squad, he's too good for the league, and that he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. And I think that's bullshit. So I just think that, you know, we signed him to replace Chris Wood. Chris Wood, you know, okay, he left us and we think that he's a bit of a snake. Snake. For that. But the truth is he worked his socks off when he was with us, and I think Lasogga needs to step up to the plate. And the only way that can happen is if a manager has the authority to be able to take these overpaid players and bring them down to a level that everyone else is on. And Thomas Christensen, nice guy and everything, he doesn't seem to have that about him, that authority. And he hasn't managed in top leagues as well, where these sort of players are going to be, where these sort of overpaid prima donnas are going to be. You know, Cyprus just probably doesn't have those types of players. So I think he's struggling maybe to deal with him. Time will tell tomorrow, obviously, but I think we should just put him on the bench. If he's not going to perform, if he's not going to like be a part of the team, yes, he can score a goal and yes, he can do this and, you know, knock one in. But if he's not going to be part of the team, I think give the position to someone else, someone younger who's actually going to work for it. Other guys like Taylor Wood that have left, you know, they left for 22 million we got for the combined fee for those two. And, you know, where has that cash gone? I know, like, at the beginning of the season, we were saying, yeah, like, we've spent about 13 million on players. Yeah, that's great. But when you think about it, we actually sold 2 players for 22 million. Where's that money gone? It seems like there was no investment into the squad. And we bought back Ellen Rowe, fair enough, but we need the squad. We need players, like good English players or players that are used to this league. And I don't think we've really done that. Radrazani, yes, he has put his own money into the club. Of course he has, but did he really put enough money into the squad? That's the thing. Did he really was the strategy to go cheap overseas, or was it really about, there was no real strategy for getting English players or players based in the UK, or at least with UK experience? So I feel that, you know, even though money was spent and we did get all these players in, maybe, you know, it wasn't enough, and maybe they didn't need to buy all these random players and just get a couple of fucking solid players. Like, instead of getting like Matthews, Cliss and Sabici and Grott and all, let's get some brilliant player instead of benching loads of them, you know, and they're not getting any game time. The squad just probably is a little bit unbalanced. We started off, you know, with 11 players and a bench. And all of these players had no game time at that time. So of course, like, everyone's playing well. You know, everyone's like happy. The season started. It's like summertime still, and all of that. And then it started getting to a point where maybe a lot of these players were not getting enough game time, and then they started bringing down the morale of the squad. We brought in this prima donna Lasogga, and everyone's thinking, look at this guy who's on 60 grand. He's moping around. Mate, I'm just going to fuck around it myself. I'm just jumping to conclusions, of course. But we all have to analyse this and think about it in a logical way. And I think that is... There has to be a reason why we've dropped from first, the form team of the league, to being literally the relegation team of the league. No other team is on the downward slump as much as we are at the moment. And if it continues, we'll be in League One next year. which is ridiculous when you think about how, all these players we brought in. We signed some of these players on, long-term contracts, 4-year contracts. It's quite a comfortable contract for these players. Like, if you think about it, they've signed a 4-year contract. They know they're going to get paid every week for the next 4 years. Maybe that isn't the best policy, especially when we're in the Championship, because we need to give a sense of urgency to these players. Like Ayling, for example, is a perfect example of this. Great player for us. He's been amazing. He was one of the star signings last season. And we put him on a 4-year contract and he goes to shit. He's literally been playing like shits for the last 5 games. Like, he hasn't been involved. Everyone's been saying that. All the reports say that as well. He's really gone off the rails. And that probably might not be to do with the contract, and it might be. But it really is definitely something. And the squad, obviously, the morale was somehow not there. This Thomas Christensen thing, and that brings me back to the investment. We sold Taylor and Wood. We got 22 million. We seem to buy players with half of that money and not really invest real money, not proper money. It's reinvestment of money that's been made from sales. We didn't really spend on a manager either. We brought in an untried and untested manager who's a really good interviewer, really. He gave a good interview. He sold the dream, but he's not really performing at the moment, is he? And the next game against Middlesbrough will be the crux match, I think, and I've heard reports that if he doesn't win this match, he's going to get sacked. I'm not sure, I've got his back and I had his back at the beginning of the season, but you can't keep losing games, like consecutive games, consecutively. Lose. It's okay, win, okay, draw, lose. That's all right. But lose. There's something wrong there, because we don't have a squad that should be losing all the time. We should be winning games. Not every game, but we should be winning games. So I believe Thomas Christensen is on his way out if he doesn't win against Middlesbrough. And what do you think? I'd love to hear your opinions on that. Do you believe that he should be sacked? Or do you believe he should be given more time? The risk is, if we give him more time, we might be in a position in February where we don't have a shot of getting promoted, and that would be such a waste of a season. Such a waste. So I think this Thomas Christensen punt is backfiring, personally. But it'd be good to get back on winning tracks against Middlesbrough, because obviously it's Gary Monk. And he'll be under pressure at Ellen Road, because he's going to come down and he's going to get a lot of stick from the fans, and that could actually put them under a lot of pressure. So we could end up winning this game just because of that reason. But I don't want us to win just because of that reason. I want us to win because we're playing well. If we just win because the other team are fucking up, that's not going to solve the problems that we're facing at the moment. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You got to see some of Bali and me riding around a motorbike. You got to see some of the beach and stuff like that. And you got to see my room as well. So happy days. And I'll see you all next week. Let's all march on together and praying for a win tomorrow against Middlesbrough. See you later. Goodbye.